I think Mike Brown, what they took out of like his quote kind of is that
I watched
complimenting Trey Hendrickson. He's like, we want him to be here. Trey's a good player. He's delivered. And then he was like, Trey's kind of a hard guy to negotiate with. It was basically his version of he's a complicated fella.
He's a complicated fella.
But also Mike Brown's wrong, and everybody knows he's wrong. And I think Trey's also been the victim of having a shitty agent who has accepted these 1-year guaranteed type deal extensions or whatever, and that's put them in a bad place. So
because what Mike Brown is trying to, so he made the comment about jail. And I think I saw that kind of go a whole bunch of places. And he was just like, we don't want to, if there's a player that's sitting in jail instead of being on the football field, he goes, I don't think we should pay him. Honestly, I don't think we should pay him.
I agree.
So it's basically saying that for Shamar Stewart, that if it's the language that they are arguing over right now is
conduct
detrimental to football, right? So he's like, if somebody does, in this case, if Shamar Stewart does something where, according to my brain, he ends up in jail, right? Or he does something that is against the team and it's going to be detrimental to his actions on the football field, he shouldn't have to pay him. And I feel like that's not a hugely controversial statement, like as an owner being like,
supporting him for that statement.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're not getting a deal done because of this.
Yes.
And now Shamar Stewart remains one out of only two people who are not signed from the 2025 NFL draft. And throw on top of the Trey Hendrickson thing, it's like, okay, well, there needs to be some kind of compromise here. There needs to be some kind of conversation that's going on. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's happening, or at least productivity is happening.
And he cited domestic violence as a reason to not pay a player. And nobody's going to go, you know what, though, Mike? You should pay him if he does a DV. Just pay him. And he used conduct detrimental. And if you look up conduct detrimental to the league or the team, there is a long list of reasons that they can use to not pay a guy. And I think that's what the agent's actually trying to fight against, is like, yes, that is one example.
Sure.
But there's some language. I think the very last line, and I had this in yesterday's video, it's just like, any conduct the league views as detrimental can be like conduct detrimental. So there is wiggle room there. But he succeeded in that. I literally saw somebody tweet like, I never thought I would side with Mike Brown, but I agree with him on this. Shamar Stewart, sign your contract. Like, he did it. He did the thing. He said, I'm gonna pick the bad thing that we don't want guys doing, and I'm gonna say that's why we're not guaranteeing it. And some people fell for it.
Yeah, I feel
also,
like
he didn't use jail as a concern for Trey Hendrickson. He didn't say, I'm worried about Trey Hendrickson being in jail next year, and he should be. I've got sources that say Trey Hendrickson is looking to go to jail.
Yeah, so he's in Florida right now, Trey Hendrickson, so I don't know when he's going to sign a new contract. And so Trey Hendrickson is in, because we have talked about this on the show a bunch. According to the new CBA, if you
trademark podcast conduct detrimental, it's my next podcast. Sorry.
Ooh, I like that.
I just really interrupted you, Tom.
Oh, you're good. For Trey, so if you're a player that is sitting out, right, Shamar Stewart has a little bit of leverage here. Not to bring back the good old leverage talk, but has a little bit of leverage here because he hasn't signed a contract yet. So he's not he's not actually losing money. He's losing potential earnings, right? Because he could be getting money right now, but he's not losing actual dollars right this second. And there's lots of talk about maybe he winds up going back into the draft next year, which would just be really funny. And we'll do this all over again next year. But the most important thing for Trey Hendrickson is when you are a player that has signed a contract and you start sitting out, you are losing, I think it's like $30,000 a day. It's a lot of money that you're losing.
That's not that much.
Trey Hendrickson has a lot of money. And so because he's a veteran and has gotten some contracts, he can afford at least a little bit to sit out for a period of time. We'll see. And because Trey Hendrickson flat out is like, I'm not playing. Like, I'm not playing on this current contract. Like, I'm holding out and, you let me know when you're ready to make a deal. And so now I feel like for Trey, he doesn't have a ton of leverage because if he sat out the entire season, that would not count against his contract. So he would still be under contract with the Cincinnati Bengals because under the CBA. But he can afford to play chicken with them. And let's just say this goes into the season, which would be a disaster for the Bengals, right? Because they brought back Tee Higgins, they brought back Jamar Chase, keeping that offense together. That defense, which had challenges last year, and that's even with Trey Hendrickson having a phenomenal year. I think it might be one of those things of, oh yeah, we need Trey. And is that price just going to keep on going up and up as we get closer to the season?
Yeah, the Bengals have like one of the highest paid receiving rooms in the league, which is why they don't want to pay Trey Hendrickson. They gave all their money to 2 players catching balls from Joe Burrow, which is not necessarily the wrong move.
No, but at the same time, you need to have a balanced football team. And already heading into the season, there were a lot of doubts about the defense. And the fact that you haven't signed your first draft pick and you also haven't brought back your best defensive player, it's just not great. It doesn't look good. Short term, I think it's Trey Hendrickson easy, right? Whose deal do you think, if you had to choose one of them, who has to get done? Is it Trey?
Trey or Micah?
No, Trey or Shamar Stewart. Because if you don't sign Shamar Stewart, you wasted your first round draft pick, right? You're not helping your pass rush. You're not building it for the future whatsoever. And Trey Hendrickson, he will give you the results right now. It's just going to cost more money, and that's going to be short term because what is it going to be like a 3-year deal?
Trey is much more necessary. You have no idea who Shamar Stewart is as a football player at this point.
Hey, he could be another Trey Hendrickson.
Develop into an average pass rusher. Trey is an elite pass rusher. He has been in the top 5 in terms of like overall production over like the last 4 years. So
if you're in win now mode, it's Trey, right?
The Bengals are in win now mode.
Correct.
You have to be. You got Joey freaking Burrow, the second best quarterback in the NFL, according to Steve Spags. You got 2 elite ball catchers. You got an offense that can score points with anyone.
Legit, yes.
Get the one guy who actually was good on defense for you last year. If I was it, I would unsign all the rest of my defense. Every other player on defense, gone, motherfucker.
And they're like, why? And they're like, your
rookies, because you sucked last year.
Your play on the football field was detrimental to football. Gone.
Yeah. Boom. And I would bring in police, and I would have them all arrested, so I didn't have to pay them.
There you go.
Look, they're in jail. I'm not paying any of these criminals.
I think you'd be a great football owner.
Oh, God, yeah. Dude, that's why I need to run the union. Players, I'm going to convince them I'm working for them, but I will be in the NFL, and their pockets, their hands will be down to my ankles. They'll be in there so deep.